Hello everybody, and especially those raiders that just came in at the perfect time from Roll Together. Welcome to Quest Junkies! It is Monday night, my dudes, and after a little bit of a hiatus, we are finally back with the Rhódania Chronicles. Wyld Ones, say hi, guys!
Hi, guys!
We are thrilled to be finally back. Unfortunately, we're not all here. Our dear Conor McGinnisy has had to go slay some terrible beasties in the Shadowfell by me and has had to go to work. So, unfortunately, they can't be with us for the session, but we're sending them all the love, and they will be back next week. But we do have some wonderful peeps here, and so many things to get into. It's going to be a very interesting session. I'm looking forward to it. But before all that, let's quickly go around the table, my dear friends. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you will be playing. Starting up there at the tippity top, we have Artie.
Hi, I'm Artie the Halfling. I'll be playing Mr. Timey, the Order Cleric with a Clockwork Soul.
Order Cleric with a Clockwork Soul. That sounds like a rap bar. I'm an Order Cleric with a Clockwork Soul. I don't know how to rap. Fuck no.
Just chanting in a Macklemore, you know?
I mean, that is true. Fun fact, one of Mr. Timey's disguises is Macklemore. So, yeah, that is canon. I look forward to seeing the return of Macklemore. Thank you so much. Moving along, we have Aelin.
Hi, I'm Aelin. I will be playing the biblically accurate twink, Aegis.
I never get tired of that introduction. The biblically accurate twink. I need to merch that. I need to merch that shit. It needs to happen. I'll get it on there somewhere. It's on the list. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least by any measure, it's Bridget!
Hi guys, I'm Bridget. I'll be playing Frike, the Way of the Long Death Monklock. Good time. Here we go.
Indeed. And I am Patch, the ever-humble Dungeon Master. I play everybody else. So, we have a bunch of things to get into. At the end of the stream, I will be telling you about our week of Pride streams that come in just in a couple of weeks' time. We have 8 days of streams coming to you, raising money for the Trevor Project. Really, really excited. Last year, we did 1,800 is how much we raised. This year, I want to beat that. I want us to hit our target of 2,500. I know we can do it because all of you are wonderful, wonderful peeps. And we have some fun streams planned. So, we'll talk all about that about the end because we have potentially some trauma to get into during this week's session. Because last we left off, the Wyld Ones, our heroes of Rhódania, were grieving the loss of a beloved friend and companion. One of the members of the Wyld Ones. The bravest small boy that ever did small. Brim Small Boy. His life cut tragically short at the behest of the foul chaos and rot that perpetrates the Shadowfell. His body has been preserved through gentle repose. And the group have regrouped, reorganized in Zundanag at the Colosseum. After some discussions with the Zundanag champion of heroes, the mighty Thrasham foe, a friend, former travelling companion, they're beginning to formulate a plan to fight back against the evils that have sundered this world. The malice that runs behind the curtain controlling the Great Reconvergence. Part of this plan involves looking at the branches of Palor, an ancient set of portals built into structures dotted all across the continent in different locations. One of these was accessed by Wes, one of the Wyld Ones, and used to traverse between planes before he was taken away by the Reconvergence, as was 2 of their other companions. But the main thing on their list of things to do right now is to figure out what to do about the small boy in the room. We rejoin the group in this small chamber in the Colosseum, gathered around the preserved body of their friend, and with a plan to find out if he wants to come back, because they have the means to bring him back. But does he wish to come back? Where we left off, I believe Aegis was in the process of casting Speak with Dead. I think we went over this at the end of last session, but I would like to offer you the chance once more to describe what this scene looks like as you begin the incantation.
So he usually casts in Undercommon, and the component for it is incense, so the smoke of the incense would begin to coil around the body and then essentially form the shape of Brim that kind of sits up and looks around at the group.
Which it does. And as it sits up, the eye is open. There's no pupils, it's just clear. There's no emotion on the face. It is blank. It's not looking at you. It's like it's looking through you. It's disassociative. It's present, but at the same time, not quite present. As an echo of the spirit, the soul of Brim Smallboy has been brought to this place. And I believe you have up to 5 questions that you can ask. So, as the magic takes hold, who's the first to speak? Frank?
She visibly has to swallow her discomfort seeing him like this, but she's trying to focus on what she has prepared. Do you want to be with the Wyld Ones again?
At first, you are unsure if your words reached this spirit as there is no reaction, but then there is just a slight tilt of the head, and a voice emanates. It's Brim's voice, but it's like it's speaking in reverse at the same time and fading in and out, underlaying the words. As he responds to the first question. I was going to join them again. Wyld Ones always stay together. I must get back. I can't find them. And the head untilts and goes silent again. That's one question.
I have others, but if anyone else wants to go.
He just gestures right forward.
Is there anything else, anything you want us to tell your family?
The head tilts again, but it tilts in a different direction. My family. Frike. Rhódania. Reese. Connell. Wes. My family. Tell them I'll be back soon. I just need to find... I can't find... Well... I don't know where I am. And tilts back. That's 2 questions. Got 3 left.
Okay, is there any unfinished business you would like us to take care of?
Another head tilt. Reconverge. Reunite. Bring everyone together again. We are the Wyld Ones. We are supposed to be heroes. And that's it. Two left. I'll say in this moment, while we're thinking of the last couple of questions, what's going through each of your minds? Observing this, feeling this, what emotions are there, if any?
Mr. Timey's looking on with some form of amazement and curiosity, finally seeing power that a mortal soul has, even past the point of its shell expiring, I guess. Sort of trying to calculate what is a soul, what are they conversing with in this moment.
Okay. Aegis?
Aegis is acting as a conduit in this moment and just holding the door open. He feels a sense of peace in his purpose. That he can do this, that he can offer this to his friends.
And Frank?
Pain. It's painful to see him so disconnected like this, and she's trying to stay rational and ask the questions that they need to ask, but she's quickly losing her grip, hearing him say that he wants to get back to his family.
Okay. And 2 questions remaining. You don't have to use 5, but you have 5.
I wanted, seeing what Pat has written in the chat, if Connell wants to ask that question, he can.
Okay. I missed that. I apologize. Yeah, Connell will step forward and just say, what does death feel like? I can't do the voice without it being a massive parody. As the head tilts again, and this time it turns a little bit towards where Connell is standing, but again, not looking at Connell, like looking past him, looking through him. I feel cold, confused, Scary. Very scary. Where am I? I'd like to get back to the Wyld Ones. But I was too weak. How can I get back? And the form starts to begin to flicker as it seems this echo of this spirit is starting to get agitated. One last question.
Tears now sliding down her face. Is there anything we can do to help you find your way back?
The head turns and looks towards Frike. And for the first time in this whole experience, you now feel like this spirit is staring directly at you. The agitation, the flickering stops. There is only stillness. It looks eye to eye to you. You're my hero, Frank. You'll save me. Then looks to where Connell is stood. Brim's rules of hero number 1. Never give up. Never give in. Always come back. Then looks to where Aegis is standing. Rhódania, you always know what to do. Small boy and little cat. Your best team. Then looks over to where Mr. Timey has stood. Big cat. You're like the moon. I'd like to see the moon with you again. It's nice. And then looks away to an empty portion of the room. Wes, I would like to get to know you better. Better. I must be better. Not small. Not weak. Wild. I must be Wyld One. Looks back to Aegis. Rhódania. need your help. I can't find you. Where are you? Where? And in that moment, the spectral form dissipates, leaving no trace. As the magic subsides, and Sirenscape crashes. Apparently that was too sad for Sirenscape. Let me just reload it. Okay, can you hear that? It's very subtle.
No.
Okay, I can fix that. Apologies. That was so perfectly timed. 1 second.
There it is.
There we go. The room goes quiet again.
He stares at where his form had appeared for some time. If she was standing, she just sinks to the ground and folds her knees into her chest. And she keeps staring at that spot.
He just sits next to her.
I think we know what we need to do, but perhaps we need to find your friends first.
Anywhere. It could be anywhere. I've tried reaching out, tried sending them messages. It doesn't work anymore. Don't know how to reach them. I don't know.
I think Connell will walk over and sit at the other side of Frigg. And just place a hand on Frigg's back. You heard what he said. Rule 1. We don't give up. We don't give in. We'll figure this out. We just gotta do what we always do. Take it one step at a time.
I can't lose anyone else. Can't. I'm not sure I'd survive it.
Then we'll just have to make sure we don't. And he'll stand back up and he'll extend a hand out to you. No one else. No one else goes today, or any day after this.
She looks a little frustrated with herself, but she'll just kind of almost angrily wipe at her face and take his hand and just nod, but she can't really meet his eyes the same way.
He'll pull you up to standing. Look, we've been doing a lot over these last few weeks. We took a big hit. We took the worst hit. But we always bounce back. We did Erosion's Rise. We did in Berthy with the ghost who possessed me. We did in the Shadowfell. The tournament. We always bounce back.
She'll
Now,
just nod and
and plus we got these guys helping us now. I know it's hard to be optimistic when things are like this. But it's better to be optimistic than to live in despair. Brim was always optimistic. Hell, he was more comic relief than me, and that takes some doing. But don't tell him I said that.
I think she's having to swallow her real reaction, like, to everything that's going on, to bury some emotions constant. Like, it takes a conscious effort, and it looks like a painful swallow, but she nods and...
Can I roll an insight check on that?
Go ahead and make an insight check. And Frike, deception or persuasion, your choice, don't tell us which.
Oh, that's nasty. That's a 25.
I was gonna say she's not trying to hide it. She wants to feel these feelings, but she senses that there is no time, so she's burying her emotions actively, and it looks like it's a painful thing to swallow, but after a bit of time, she's standing on her feet and she's still looking at the spot, but she'll say, for Rhódania and Wes and Reese, for Aegis and Mr. Timey. She'll look at Connell. For you. And for me. And for Brim.
Fuck
and
yeah.
From here, I think she'll pull out the map and figure out where they are in relation to the location of the branch of Palor here in town.
So after previous discussion with Thrasham, you would have been made aware that the branch of Palor in Zundanarg is in the palace. The place where you met the politician weeks and weeks back before all of this chaos had hit the world. It was also where Wes had returned from an unexpected jaunt to other planes. Place that you had heard has since been deserted, practically. The governing figures abandoning the city, hence why Thrasham stepped in to herald the people together in this time of crisis. It would, I imagine, be very easy to get to.
She would kind of talk this over with everybody and kind of point out on the map, like maybe drawing the best route with her fingernail and just explaining that, like, if it is abandoned, then we shouldn't have to worry about, like, security or guards or things like that. But she'll end her explanation with just a fervent hope that the branch of Palor has not been messed with in some way since the reconvergence, that it's still there.
I have a quick question. How did Mr. Timey arrive in Zundalag?
That's a very good question. Not sure if we've actually ever discussed that before.
No.
How do you think Mr. Timey arrived? Do you think it was a convergence event? Do you think it was intentional? Do you think...
It was definitely intentional. But I don't know if the way that he got here would have been so intentional as to have used a pre-established branch of interdimensional or interplanar.
I feel like this wouldn't have been a case of using one of these branches. On that point, has the group actually explained what these branches are to you?
Not in detail.
Probably not, but I guess when Frike mentions the branch of Palor, there's an opportunity to do so.
And for the sake of brevity, they inform you, Mr. Timey, that scattered across Rhódania are these ancient stone structures that house portals, gateways to each other, spread out across a nexus, across the entire continent. These were created back in the age of the gods by one of the gods named Palor. Now, this concept on its own would be intimately fascinating to an individual such as yourself, because it's very different to what this world is like, typically. But you've never encountered something like this being divine in nature before. Certainly curious. And then the thought actually occurs to you. If there is something like this, well, you certainly have expertise in utilizing this kind of, I want to say technology. Technology is not probably the correct word, but you came here under similar circumstances, but by different methods. And as you're in this thought, I'd like you to give me I'm going to call this insight check.
Okay. It's a 19.
A 19, very good. As you're thinking about this, a thought occurs to you. You now have this information about what these branches of Palor are. You heard a previous account of one of the former companions, Wes, had used one of these to get back from an unexpected convergence event that they had cultivated in their own little laboratory. And all these little thoughts start spidering and connecting together, much like the lines and pins on the map behind Bridget. With a 19. A mortal was able to create almost like a pocket convergence, sending themselves to the astral sea. Just using a handful of laboratory equipment. What could someone like you do with your background, your expertise, your very being as what you are, if you had an entire nexus of divine portals across an entire continent that had been converged? And it all culminates into one single thought with a 19. Could we reverse it? Could we undo all of this? And that's what you get with a 19.
Only that much? Damn.
Only that much. I mean, the DC was fairly low. Just given given who Mr. Timey is and where Mr. Timey's from and all the stuff that no one else fucking knows but us. It makes sense to me. So, yes. There's no guarantees. But it's a theory. It's just a theory.
I relay in somewhat of a dumbed down version, just to sort of make it as common as possible and followable, because Artie Brain didn't quite follow all of that, but Mr. Timey would have been all over it. Mm-hmm. And upon finishing that train of thought to the group, is just going to sort of ponder for a moment and say, well, it's rather simple if I am able to get there. If we can reverse and find the other Wyld Ones who have perhaps been converged elsewhere, that would be the number one priority right now. However, and you can correct me here if this is the wrong thought, I do, however, wonder if perhaps the fact that it's going to be guarded on the way for us to get to it might prove more problematic because no one's guarding other things from getting in. I'll need your help.
Yes, I had that similar thought, and given we can hardly step out on the streets right now without encountering a fight, I was expecting some manner of battle. But and this is a quick question above table. We were going to attempt to head to Demethrin
Mhm.
as well. So I don't know that we've gotten into fully, like, I mean, Aegis would obviously know more, but the goal there was being to investigate the rod, because it's essentially back. I think I'm trying to, like, straighten the priorities of what we're going to do next in my head, but
I'll add just a perhaps maybe a better explanation of what I just gave Mr. Timey knowledge wise. I think the idea would be that because there's multiple of these sites, that multiple of these would need to be utilized to carry out this theory. And there is one in Demethrin, which gives you extra cause to go there. But yes, the idea of investigating more about the rot in Demethrin was definitely on the agenda, I believe.
Just course charting me. So when I think going on to kind of formulate a plan together once we get to the Branch of Baylor and Zundanark, I think the first destination would be Demethrin? Fairly certain, anyway? Unless we had another destination in mind.
I know that Pat wanted to go after the Swords of Insight as well. But then Thrasham also obviously told him that he'd make his own legendary weapon, so I'm not sure if that's something he still wants to do, but...
I think it was something he still wanted to look into, specifically. But on that point as well, they're all across the continent, and if these things
we got an
are...
explanation about those a while back.
And if these things are indeed as connected as it seems to be the case, and they can be utilized, then traveling between places is certainly made easier. It all depends how you approach it. I think Connell will speak up. Well, look at us. Starting to formulate a plan. See? We're not down and out yet. I didn't understand half of what Mr. Timey just said, but I like it.
As long as Mr. Timey knows what he's talking about, I'm keen on trying whatever might help.
Then I think the first hurdle is going to be getting the branch itself.
Okay.
We'll be on our way and see what we see on the journey ahead.
All right. Do you finish off your preparations? Do you intend to leave Brim's body here at the Colosseum in its resting place? Thrasham has assured that it would be made secure and safe. And you still have, I believe, 9 days?
Yes.
Okay. I think each of you, perhaps, in your own way, say a temporary farewell to Brim. And you head out into the streets of Zundanag once more. Can I get a marching order, please?
I think
I think Connell will be probably towards the front. Normally is.
yeah, she'll move with kind of single-minded determination, and she'll be up there leading the charge too.
Okay.
Aegis will be just behind them.
Are we forced into single file, or can we sort of go 2 by 2?
You could go 2 by 2. The streets are clear, as they often are, because people are staying indoors at the moment.
What was the effect of the current moon cycle?
It was the cold, wasn't it?
Yes. I do not have that document open. Let me look that back up. Just 1 second. Do I remember where I put it? Because I moved it after last session. I moved it to somewhere. I moved it somewhere where I knew where I would find it. I can't find it. Sorry, did you have any notes?
If we were...
Creatures other than monsters receive -10 to perception, including their passive perception. Traveling creatures are effectively blinded in this like foggy kind of setting, and after more than an hour outside, potential cold damage.
I remember now. It's a very unforgiving moon.
There's a thick layer of frost/ice on streets and buildings, snowfall under the same large moon over the city, ethereal purple hue. The moon appears to be covered in a glacial frost. The sound is no longer amplified.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So, the good news is that the palace is less than an hour away. If you don't get interrupted.
I was gonna say, what's the bad news?
So, if Shrike is at the head leading the group, I need you to give me a survival check. And everyone else needs a perception check with a -10.
Guidance on Freck.
Thank you.
Very good. So, yeah. Perception check from everybody, but then -10 off your final result. Ooh, Connell has advantage on this. That's good.
Just gonna,
What's the guidance die? A D4?
yes. I'm just going to flavour it as, like, because it's so low visibility, Mr. Timey at all times has a hand on Frank's shoulder. Just constantly casting guidance, but also just so don't get lost.
With the guidance, it's a 16 on the survival check.
Very good. Connell does not see shit with his perception check. He has advantage. First roll was a 4, +5 for a 9. -10 for a -1. The second roll was a 5 +5 for a 10. -10 for a 0. So as soon
Do I
as
also need to do perception?
No, I think you're more focused on the survival.
Okay.
As leading the charge. So we have a 0. Aegis, what was yours again?
13.
A 13. And Mr. Timey?
So I rolled a natural 20
Hey!
with a +8, so 28. -10 is 18.
Okay, and that's still a crit though. So you gotta honor the crit. It's needed because of poor McGinnisy. Just for the fun of it, Bridget, give me a perception check.
Yeah.
Just average things out lower.
This won't suck. Yeah, with a -10, that's a 2.
That's a 2. Okay. Well, you rolled pretty good on your survival, so I'll say that you move a bit slower because of this dense, icy mist, the fog. And you're being extra careful because these streets are dangerous. I'm gonna make a roll here. You push on deeper into the streets, heading towards the palaces. In the distance, you hear the murmurings of beasts. Much like the galvanized prowler that you had battled before, not quite as large, shall we say, as your last encounter. Fortunately, just a little bit too far away to hear you, as I assume you're going stealthily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to allow you to bypass a stealth check because you are moving slowly and steadily, and the mist is heavily obscuring a lot of things. And after, let's say, about 56 minutes, you reach the partially opened gates of the palace. As you head towards the entrance, the mist begins to clear. It seems deserted. How do you wish to proceed?
With it being an open space, I'm assuming open space anyway, like not narrow, not kind of claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
Does the mist from outside roll in any way?
It does not, actually. It lingers in place. It's rather strange, actually. It's very unlike typical mist, shall we say. Bridget, you look like you're formulating a very bad idea.
It's a plan that I can't use because I don't have spells. And every time I've used Armor of Agathis, it's been a waste. Just... Hell, she's nervous. She's gonna take out her battle axe, have it at the ready, and opt to sneak toward the palace again very slowly and steadily.
Okay. Connell readies his two weapons. Hammer, sword. Gives him a bit of a spin. Alright, guys. Whatever's in there, we're ready for it. Let's go. You make your way inside. The first thing that you realize is that it's a lot easier to see in here because there is no mist. But under this moon, with the open doors, partially broken windows here and there, everything is covered with a very thin layer of frost and ice. It's cold. It feels colder inside than outside. It's curious. I'd like everyone to give me a perception check. Without the -10 this time. You'll be happy to know.
Also, just for a bit of flavor, you see like Aegis's like bat-like ears are just kind of doing that cat thing where they like move.
Holy shit. Colonel got a natural 1 and a natural 20.
Nice.
Thankfully, that was at advantage, not disadvantage. Let's go. So how do we all do?
16 for 25.
7.
22 total.
Okay. Perhaps the nerves holding your senses back a little bit, some numbness kicking in. At first maybe just the cold, but it's a knot in your stomach. Emotional overload of the day, perhaps.
Would there be time for me to quickly cast protection from energy cold on Frike?
So
Noticing that she's a little bit more phased than the others currently.
I don't see why not. I love watching Bridget's face. Oh, you thought the reconvergence was the biggest mystery in this campaign. May I introduce you to Artie?
Just gonna sort of go over to Frike, and Mr. Timey's gonna just say, "Don't take this as an insult, but just going to give you a little something," and just pats and protects from cold.
All right.
Thank you. Gets as much of a reply as she can muster, given that, yeah, she probably is fighting to keep those emotions buried.
Aegis's form will kind of like shudder a little bit and then split. So there is an echo.
Frike, why don't we see just how well you're keeping it together? Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Wrong protection spell.
Okay. Digidice hate me today. That's a 9.
A 9. The emotional roller coaster you've been on. Not just today, these last few weeks, these last few months. It's all coming to a point when you're beginning to think you might not take much more of this. You appreciate that Mr. Timey has just done this to help you. It's just unfortunate that in here you don't feel any better. Because in here is where the real trouble currently resides. What is... What's Frike's biggest fear at the moment?
Given the conversation that they just had with Bram, given that she was supposed to be his hero, that she really won't be enough to overcome what's happened to the first place she could call home outside of the Shadowfell, to Rhódania, that she won't be able to figure out all of this, get all these questions answered, to rise to the occasion, that she won't be enough to stop his machinations, her father, and the bastard formerly known as Relevant. Title change.
Standing here in this palace, in a city known for its heroes, the imposter syndrome is skyrocketing. With a 9, you'd just about keep a lid on it. For now. We'll see how things go from here.
Okay.
I miss this campaign. You were given fairly loose instructions on to how to get to the chamber where the branch of Palo was located once within the palace. It's fairly easy to navigate these halls. By the way, thank you for those subscriptions, gift subscriptions, resubscriptions. You're all wonderful and lovely. Mwah. As you collect yourself as best you can, you are able to start leading the group through these empty corridors, empty stairways, cold to the touch. Are we going stealthily? Let's have that group stealth check.
Okay.
Well, I know Connell has a disadvantage on stealth, but I don't believe he's the only one.
I know what you're talking about, clank clank.
13.
Natural 1?
17.
Aelin!
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Anxiety.
I rolled a 5 for a total of 4.
And
My
Connell
first roll
rolled
was a 19, so
Connell
I'm
rolled
amazed.
Connell rolled a 6.
Frank got a 13.
The stealthiest of the bunch.
I feel like Aegis, who is way like who's a little like fixated on Frike's emotional status right now, is not paying attention to what he is doing.
It's interesting that you say that, actually, Aegis. As you look at Frike, and you can see that she's struggling. She is trying to keep it together. And you feel a coldness start to creep into you. It's not uncomfortable, but it's different. And with your natural one, flavored very specifically, Aegis drops to the floor as, from your perspective, his eyes go black. And Aegis, you find yourself in a dark, expansive void, not too dissimilar from one you have experienced before. An all too familiar feeling from your time back home, back in Demethrin, should I say, where you were visited by a certain necromancer, as you knew them. But there's an element of this that feels curiously different. It's not quite the same. You see a small white bird flap its wings and land directly in front of you. And as it looks at you, a voice creeps into your mind. Not one you've heard before. There's something oddly welcome about it, though. Well, this is certainly curious. I figured it was about time I met some of my new followers. You follow the path of death, do you not?
That I do.
And from what I can see, you are particularly devoted to this path. Aegis of House Asphodelus. You should be commended. Your dedication does not go unnoticed.
Aegis just kind of stares at this bird, fixated,
And it stares back.
waiting patiently.
You must have noticed the change in power, so to speak. Did you not? You feel
Yes.
the difference in the power of death.
But so long as death is what it is, has always been, there is no need for me to change.
I don't think I could have said it better myself. You do your family proud. I know that your companions do not follow our path. I also know that you and I have not been formally introduced. But I wish you to know first that while my allegiances do not lie with your companions, I hold no ill will towards you. But I am curious to know, did she serve you as well as you served her? And for a split second, the white bird changes into a dead raven, and then changes back to a white bird that stands there looking at you.
It is not my purpose to be served. And do you carry intent beyond maintaining the balance?
It is rare to meet a mortal who understands the balance, the importance of this, the lines that must never be crossed. The so-called Raven Queen did not know the importance of balance. She worked to her own goals, her own desires, as do all of the so-called gods. But balance is why we are here. Balance is what I have always strived for. And it is what I will reclaim from this place.
I would like to insight check death, please.
Make an insight check. What are you attempting to insight? Because I will let you know the DC based on what you tell me.
The truth of whether or not balance is his goal, the balance of life and death.
Interesting. DC. Because I know you roll fucking crazy.
Well,
DC 26.
yeah, I didn't hit it. I got a 19.
Okay. With that insight check, I think what you glean is one of the, if not the clearest examples of purpose this entity speaks of balance being the prime focus of everything that he does. And you see nothing to disbelieve this as truth. If anything, I'd say it could be considered quite emboldening to your faith.
May I ask as to the purpose of the rod? And how it serves you?
Mortals would say this is a long story. Let's just say the rot is a consequence. A consequence of foolish curiosities long ago by people who chose to cross the line even though they knew not to.
So in maintaining the balance, you would have no problem with me purging this consequence.
The bird tilts its head, much like the spirit of Brim did earlier on. Aegis of us, Asphodelus. You would try to undertake such a task. Nothing would make me prouder. If you do this, then I would have no need of rot, because I would have you. A champion of death. Or to put it simply, you can certainly try.
There's just like this faint smile, and Aegis's halo would appear in the void.
I understand. It would be my honor.
Death is an honor shared by all, as it comes to all.
Yes.
And death be with you, Aegis Asphodelus. As the bird vanishes, and you regain your senses, you see yourselves on the floor, with your friends rushing over towards you. For everyone else, less than a second of time has passed. You just fall to the floor, their eyes go black for a second, and then suddenly snap back to, and their eyes return. And that's where we're going to go ahead and take our bio break. So stick around, friends, because I think we opened up a whole can of oh fuck. See you soon, friends. Oh, hi, QJs. Sorry to interrupt your broadcast. It's me. I've been here the whole time. Oh, wait, no, that's Sam Reich, not me. Just a quick little thing just to say, if you haven't done so already, can I do this yet? Squeeze my finger down here. This little follow and subscribe. Give that a little shot. Because we here at QuestJunkies need your support. And, as a special little extra thing, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you get one free Prime subscription every single month that you can give to one of your favorite creators. And we here at QuestJunkies would be thrilled if you would consider lending us your Prime subscription, or just a normal subscription if you fancy that. You will get access to lots of fancy emotes and things like that, and you will be helping QuestJunkies with their content creation, supporting us in our future creative endeavors, which basically accounts to bringing you more memes, you know, that kind that you love, in the form of comedic yet sometimes arousing storytelling. Yeah, that sounds about right. So yes, if you haven't done so already, please do consider giving us a follow and a subscribe. And yes, I will stop interrupting your fantastic QuestJunkies content. What's on at the minute? Oh, this is a good one. It's an oldie but a goodie. Yeah, enjoy. Oh, Bad and the Beautiful, even better. Yeah, go check that out. It's really, really cool. So yeah, till next time, friends.
Tired of eating bland, tasteless food on your epic quests? Looking for something more exciting to fuel your adventures? Look no further than Subfay.
Our sandwiches are made with only the freshest ingredients, sourced from all across the continent. Whether you're a warrior, wizard, or rogue, we have a sub that will suit your tastes. Will you go for the barbarian's bold beef, the elven herb roasted turkey, or the dwarven double smoked bacon? Choose from our wide variety of meats, cheeses, and vegetables, all served on freshly baked bread.
But that's not all. At Subfay, you can also customize your sub with magical sauces and enchanted toppings. Will you add a dash of Dragonfire hot sauce or a sprinkle of pixie dust parmesan? The possibilities are endless.
Our sandwiches come in 3 sizes: adventurer, hero, and legend.
Need something to quench your thirst after battling trolls and dragons? We also offer our signature drinks, like the Action Surge Grapefruit Ale or the Eldritch Baja Blast Dark Stout.
And for a sweet treat, try our famous 100% original recipe Feywild cookies. But don't take our word for it. Listen to what some of our satisfied customers have to say.
I never thought I'd find a sandwich that could match the thrill of slaying a dragon. Subfay did it!
Oh, I used to hate going on quests because of the terrible food, but now I look forward to it. Thanks, Subfay.
I never knew that I needed enchanted toppings on my sandwich till I tried Subfay. Now my taste buds are having a wild flavor surge.
The dragon hot fire sauce is not for the faint of heart, but it sure comes in handy when you're fighting frost giants.
So why settle for boring, mundane food when you can indulge in the flavors of Subfay? Fresh bites for your epic fights. Subfay, eat fresh.
I don't know, but people ever asked you, like, when you meet your clone, like, would you fuck them or would you fight them?
If you'd like to use a tool to help you, say, separate the rib cage to pull out a heart, that's a different story.
Yes. All right.
Why did I say that so candidly?
The top card is... Ooh. I will just hold it up to the screen for you to see. Oh god, the filter works.
Is that Medusa?
It is a Medusa. Pirate
Okay,
Medusa.
okay.
First question. The Grand Illuminator. How's he looking after that?
He's fine. Oh.
He didn't take it well.
I know you won't stop us. We're the Wyld Ones. I have a magic drink. I'm gonna drink. Do, 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 do. Stars and stuff. Hey, I'm gonna pray to the moon for help. Hello, moon. Give us some help.
I got some vegetable oil in the back, but we try not to use it because it's shit.
Oh, the shitter the better. I'll have that.
Look, I drew a picture. Do you like it?
Too much.
Oh no, wait! I forgot to put the arms on. There we go. You have arms now.
Should we get the fuck out of here and just leave them to suck each other off? Did you used to couple?
No, God, no.
The thing with the brother was down the street, not this one.
It wasn't here.
So I thought that it was two completely different things.
I'll say that laughing a little deliriously, Lena will start to go down.
Down the street. Down the street where? I need to question you as a DM. Where down the street?
We would use it. We would use it when we had like religious rites, like funerals. Shit hunt would be a very solemn vow that you would take. So, you know.
That would explain. Sometimes I dream and I hear it.
I don't set out like statues or dicks or something and just like make a circle on the ground and she just comes. But like
Dixon comes.
Sorry.
There it is.
I got the duplicate. Chester didn't care, so I fucked around and found out.
With a duplicate? So you fucked Chester?
No.
Oh my god! Oh my...
No, we strap a seagull on Charlie, and then Charlie is a flying dog.
What?
Come on, you wanted to eat a cat. I can strap a seagull on a robot dog. Why not?
So, the next one shot to unlock, I believe, is a very good one, as Phoenix Iwaki, the man himself, will be... Oh god, the finger in the mouth. Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's so creepy, but at the same time, it's I don't know how to feel.
Oh,
it's no, no. Oh, wait, hold on.
Do it in the ear.
You've arrived home.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Let me see what's happened.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Guys, if you weren't following the channel or subscribed already, this right here is reason enough to consider it.
Mate, she's hungover as fuck. You've just launched yourself on her and grabbed her paws and then stuck it in her face. Well, how else would she fucking react?
I can afford a dildo, but not a sword, Frike, probably.
Golden, parchment, tears.
Oh.
You
both took scissors.
Okay.
How ironic. Bridget's muted, but I can still hear her.
Yeah.
I want Tabrel to clap them ass cheeks.
Okay, naughty list.
Can she ritual cast Speak with Animals?
I'm already doing the same fucking thing thanks to you.
Yes!
I'm gonna have to. Okay.
Yes. Give us the goose. Give us the goose.
All right.
Hashtag give us the goose.
The chalice from the palace, she points towards chalice, has the brew that is true, okay? Just in case I'm occupied, I'll explain later. Just to remember that.
Okay.
Cool.
Sure.
René looks very confused.
Celosia Goose has a knife and is kind of rocketing around the room with like the zoomies.
What have we got there? A knife! Hug! Like things where you can buy the merch and stuff, and where you can support our wonderful players, who we'll get to in a little second. And yes, Sarah's already got the thumbs up bubble. I'm sure we're going to see that a lot tonight, since we just discovered it about 2 minutes ago. Oh, wow! Oh, shit. Oh, no. Pi just found wild magic. Happy 1000!
She'll lean in and make out with herself. Just for like a couple seconds to see.
Sounds like a Tuesday to me.
To be fair, I never said come join us. We wish to see your man body. I said nothing of the sort.
Your man body.
Along with that long flickering tongue as it slowly, sensually crosses his eyeball. A really deep, dark, intrusive thought passes through your brain. And all it says is, what that tongue do? Get them all!
Wow. Way to play up the 90s cartoon villain, Dion. Damn. Pulse.
No, please, do continue.
Pulse, meow.
I even stopped the music so that, you know, we could fully immerse ourselves in this ASMR goodness coming from,
Oh my
from
god.
Sarah.
Balls. But if that isn't enough,
we'll offer our bodies.
Damn it.
If he needs taking in line, we can help you there.
Speaking of fucking your brother, I'll be back.
Excuse me?
Let's go.
Stradalicious, where it's supposed to be a scary campaign, but all my players are thirsty as fuck. Welcome.
And welcome back, my dear friends, to the Rhódania Chronicles, right here on Quest Junkies. We return to the scene immediately where we left off, after a strange occurrence just happened as Aegis momentarily blacked out? Lost their footing? Unclear to everyone, apart from Aegis, as they just had a rather interesting conversation with their deity. And just as a fun little aside, based on all of that, I have a question to pose the players, not the characters. Not one for you to answer, but just a fun little thing to think about. I imagine this might be something that... Oh, stream is all funky looking. There we go. Fixed it. Thank you for telling me my... A question for you to just think about, maybe slightly obsess about, Bridget. I wonder what would happen if Aegis used divine intervention. As we return to the scene! Connell will sort of go over like, "Are you alright there, bud? Ice is a bit slippy."
Yeah.
Aegis? Are you okay?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Is Aegis's demeanor, like his sort of composure in this moment, any different to how he was before? Because that sounded very confident.
Yeah.
Insight check.
Yeah, feel free to roll insight.
Okay. I was almost a 19. It's a 9.
A lot of 9s tonight.
Dirty 20.
Ooh, that's good. Let me roll insight for Connell. Let's have a look. Insight. Oh boy, we got a +1. It's a natural one again for a 2.
Wow.
I guess Connell is the only one who doesn't pick up on anything.
Connell's just like, yeah, it's really slippy. Maybe we need to get some spikes for your shoes or something. We'll sort that out next time. As long as you're okay.
Aegis definitely seems okay. Like, he seems less worried. For whatever reason. In fact, yeah, more confident. There might be a little bit of a glow to his halo, just in brief shifts of the light.
Let's stay close as we navigate. Attempting to recall the directions we were given and how to find the branch of Palor in the castle.
Mm-hmm. You've gone most of the way. It takes you maybe less than 10 minutes roaming through the corridors. You find yourself entering this large room where at the far end you now see, I think for the first time because you weren't there before, this large stone structure in this room that's it's like if the Stargate from Stargate SG-1 was built out of stone and brick. It's like that, so it's like there's a staired platform leading up to a large circle It's very old, it's very weathered, and it has runes carved in at the very top. Does anyone, by any chance, speak Celestial?
Yes.
Also, yeah.
So, at the very top, these Celestial runes, you would read to say, Zundanag.
There's no celestial graffiti anywhere on this.
Yeah, there's a little signature of Paylor just in the bottom corner on a brick. Paylor
It
was
looks
here.
like that old school S you draw, like with the slashes, but it's a P.
And there's another one, like, on a brick next to it, which just says, Wes was here.
Oh.
Written in common or celestial?
No, that would be in common.
Yeah. It's probably this moment where she realizes, I mean, we were given instructions on how to find it. I don't know that we were ever given instructions on how to use it.
You were not. As Wes was the one who had successfully used it.
It's just the flu powder all over, just screaming, diagonally!
Diagonally.
On a similar note, you just looking at the text of Zundanar just goes, oh, that's how you spell it. Common is not his first language.
Very true.
Probably not going to be as simple as looking around for an instruction manual, but is there anything else in the room that might be slightly helpful?
Aegis?
Aegis has traveled via a branch of Palor in Demethrin before. So could he kind of go up and attempt to make sense of this?
Make me a history check and see how good your memory is.
Oh no.
Guidance.
Thank you. Because Aegis is not a smart boy. However, with the guidance on the dice, that is 18 plus 0.
Okay.
18.
18. You think back to that time in Demethrin, and you remember using that branch of Palor as it allowed you to travel further inland when you arrived on the continent. There was someone utilizing some sort of arcane, divine ability. Unclear what the specifics were, but it definitely involved imbuing the circle with an 18. I'd say the incantation was part of it, but you remember as it was being explained to you how the method of transportation had worked, part of it was also the will of what you wanted to, where you wanted to go, had to be imparted. That's what you get with an 18.
I don't know the exact details, but strong will is important for the process.
intention of going from place to place?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess, provided nothing happens to this one, we could always go back. Well.
Mr. Timey, what's your reaction to now finally seeing this supposed curiosity, this divine gateway?
Seeing it made from stone and quite mundane, I guess, in his opinion, sort of a little bit underwhelmed, I guess. Being from a place with a lot of technology and moving parts, this would seem quite still and almost alien, I guess. Would there be any similarity in this compared to ones that he has seen that achieve the same purpose?
Give me an either investigation or history. Your choice.
I think they're both. Yes, they're both the same. So I'll go with investigation. I'll say that he sort of gets up close to the stonework and trying to sort of figure out how it all comes together and if there's anything that he remembers.
Okay.
That's an 8, so...
An 8. I think even with an 8, as you look at it, you begin to start to see past the guise of just stone and brick, this mundane construction. You begin to glimpse that there is more to this than meets the eye. And you start to see patterns that remind you of the methods of transportation that you are accustomed to. But it's that alien feeling, it doesn't hit you right away how this works. But you feel that if you spend some time with this, like any good puzzle, it's something that you could figure out. Because divine or not, it's just a puzzle. It is... You could call it technology, perhaps here, technology, divine, arcane, perhaps it's all the same. Perhaps it's just a matter of perspective. And if you use your perspective, perhaps you can unlock its secrets.
Has Aegis made it known that he has used this before? This mode of transportation?
Yes. Or in getting into that, it requires some sort of incantation, which I don't recall, but also a force of willpower. I traveled using one in Demether.
So you're saying it's not speculation that you managed to get this to work before? Not this one, but...
There was another operator, but yes, I've seen their function.
Intriguing. I must admit that it's all quite foreign to me right now, but given some time, I think this would be quite a easy nut to crack, I believe they say.
I have faith in your abilities.
Oh, thank you.
Connell says, well, if you can figure it out, I'm going to start calling you Nutcracker.
Mr. Timey does the awkward stare in Connell's direction. Does not compute what a Nutcracker is right now. Perhaps it might be worth while I study if maybe you had a look around to see if there are any clues as to how you might get this process rolling.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Seeing the danger appears to not be there, and thinking perhaps she's just being paranoid, she's going to put her axe back and yes, just approach the branch of Palor and wait until everybody's ready.
Okay. So you're wanting to take a look around, look for some potential clues. All right. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay.
I think Connell's going to stay posted by the door, just keeping an eye out in case anything or anyone shows up.
I was an 18.
Hey, pretty good.
17, no modifier.
Also very good. Let's have a look. Okay. I'll say that this room is almost entirely bare. It's... With those rolls, it looks like... It's a little difficult to tell at first because of the thin layers of frost coating everything. But it looks like this room has been empty for quite some time. Not just like recently ransacked or anything like that. And as you're looking around, you do notice that on the door was a large padlock. So this room was not only kept empty, but it was kept locked. And you take a closer look at the branch of Palor specifically, and you get the sense that aside from the brief usage by Wes a few weeks ago, it hasn't been activated for a very long time. And you think about where this room is situated within the palace, it's in the lower levels below ground. It's tucked away. It's like it's been kept secret. And you notice the lock on the door looks fairly new. Perhaps put on after the certain usage by your traveling companion.
Is it broken or is it still intact? Like, did someone break in here is the question, I guess.
With an 18, I would say you don't get the sense that this was broken into. Whether or not it's broken, it's difficult to tell. This is not something you've fully encountered before. But you do feel a strange, calming breeze in the air for a split second as Ash gives you inspiration from the chat. Thank you, Ash. So yeah, I would say doesn't look like it's been broken into, but it's difficult to tell if this is something that's broken or not.
Okay.
And you think about all of that, everything that you've just sort of pulled together. You think about instruction manuals and the things mentioned before, and I suppose if anyone would have known the truth behind this, it would have been the people in charge. That terrible politician that you spoke to a couple of months ago now. The people that abandoned this place. You remember that upstairs where you met him, his quarters were very sort of, they were very lavish but also very busy, and you remember with an 18, lots of bookcases, a very elegant writing desk with lots of papers on it. That could be something. Potentially.
Then, if we are preparing to utilize the branch, I think she would give voice to this and say, it's possible this is worth investigating. It's just an upstairs room where we all once learned the most we'd ever learned about the branches of Palor. I think she would offer to go alone, since right now we're just making preparations to go on the journey, and if no one stops her, then I think she would go alone.
Timmy's, gonna turn to Aegis and say, "You speak Celestial as well. Perhaps you should go with in case the instructions aren't quite in a common tongue."
Of course. I was about to say that going alone didn't seem particularly wise, but if you'll allow.
Yes. Perhaps, Mr. Timey, you and Connell could stand here and warn us if you hear trouble coming, perhaps?
Oh, well, I was actually thinking, I'm going to cast, I know this is probably a little bit out of the confines of the spell, but I'm going to basically take like one of my pouches and I'm going to cast alarm on it, and I'm going to give the pouch to one of you and just going to sort of say, if you run into trouble, just break this pouch open and I should be alerted.
Okay.
I'll allow it. That's really cool use of that spell. Hell yeah. And Connell will just sort of like put his hammer on his back. That's all gravy. I'll keep an eye on Mr. Timey here. Mr. Nutcracker, shall I say? You'll be alright. You can handle yourself. But if you're not back in 10 minutes,
Yes.
I'm gonna come find you.
Okay. And I think she will just exit the room without much more preamble, still on that determined stride.
He just will kind of scurry along to try and keep up.
Okay. Is there any conversation on the way back through these corridors heading upstairs?
Unless Frike starts any sort of conversation, Aegis does have something to say.
Thinking about it's like that feeling at the end of a really long day. I think there are visible, like, audible puffs of breath as she, like, tries to keep warm, tries to climb the stairs, and while she isn't saying much, I think something's happening that she hasn't really let happen before. The sounds of her exerting effort to keep going are audible. She's breathing a little harder. She's probably not very discreetly, like, I imagine it's cold enough here to where, like, the frost kind of settles into your skin the longer you're in this environment, so she's maybe, like, a little relieved because she's, like, still wiping at the corner of her eye very discreetly to... Trying so hard to not let things show, but I think even she can tell after a while that it's not really working, so... Looking at each of the rooms, I think she'll try to, like, find a sense of direction, but eventually they'll probably, like, reach a junction in the hall, and deciding whether or not to go left or right, she'll just... I don't know if I remember where to go next.
We can search all the rooms until you find the one that you're looking for.
It's something about the politician. He had such ostentatious decorations. Everything was big and grand, and without really knowing why, her eyes are tearing up and she just grunts and frustratedly just keeps them away from her face. And
you don't have to hide that around me. Pardon me if it's too bold, but part of my job is helping to manage grief. And regardless of how much you try to put it away, you're still feeling it. It's not wrong. It's just a part of being a person.
I can't let it interfere. If I actually stopped to feel all of my feelings, then I would cease to exist. I wouldn't be at all. It would just fall apart.
He just kind of offers his hands, like, palms up.
She'll take it.
Maybe you wouldn't be a bottle threatening to break, but maybe you'd be free to be yourself.
And who's that it's supposed to be?
Whoever you're meant to be. You don't need to be confined to one thing or another.
I've been an instrument my whole life. Not to my father's machinations and to wield so much key to so much pain and destruction. I don't know who I am if I'm not just being used.
You're a hero.
I was supposed to be his hero. I'm sorry,
You
there
heard
just
what he
isn't
said.
time.
You still are.
She does break down a little at that. And it's probably the most she's allowed herself to feel in the last few days. I wasn't one that counted. I wasn't fast enough.
Nor was I.
I'm finally listening to what they were telling me, that conversations like these, emotions like these, they just hinder progress. They don't serve what we're trying to do.
I don't think emotions serve much. I think they just are.
She lets the tears fall and blinks so that her vision isn't blurry anymore, and she just nods.
I'm watching your back. You can cry if you need to. And if you can't be one with your emotions when we are actively a part of everything else, you can always find me.
Why would you do that for me? You know what my father is capable of.
And I know that you don't want to be a part of his plan. I mean to end them.
She still doesn't look like she really understands, but there's this face of indecision for a very long moment, and then she just... It's like she chooses to believe you, even if her inner critic is probably saying a lot of very different things in her head right now, but...
You could roll a natural one and understand that Aegis is completely earnest. There's...
It's not that she doesn't want to believe him, it's that, like...
It's that inner voice telling her that
yes,
she doesn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm. They probably do just take a moment. She leans against the wall and catches her breath until she's level-headed enough to actually look at look at the different rooms and understand what she's seeing, process what she's seeing, try to find the right direction.
In that moment where Frike is able to re-center herself, what do you think it is? What's the anchor to that moment? What is it that pulls her back from despair? What tangible thing is she clutching onto right now?
I think she can't look to anything bigger, like in the grand design, anything beyond this room and beyond the people she's with, so there, especially Aegis, like, is looking at who she is, everything that she's done and inadvertently done by, because she does think that she's guilty by proxy of being related to her father, but she's seeing that this person is willing to look at who she is and accept her anyway. And she thinks there must be a reason for that, and while she doesn't always trust her own instincts, she's going to focus on finding a reason to be worthy of that kind of acceptance.
If you'll allow me to flavor that a little bit. Your mind in this moment drifts back as it realizes this isn't the first time. You remember having similar feelings to this months ago. Until you met the Wyld Ones. And though the world seemed so much smaller back then, and the problems you faced were so compartmentalized compared to this, it was all so simple back then, and yet you were accepted then just as you are now. These people, the Wyld Ones, your friends, have always been and continue to be your anchor. And even when you feel like you cannot contain all of this anymore, once again, you're pulled from the ledge by one very simple thing. Something that can be described in one word. Love. Love between friends, family, a bunch of fucking idiots. And your mind spirals back as you think back to just how far you've all been on this journey. All the faces along the way. First meeting Reese out in the woods. visiting that bakery together before you bumped into little Rhódania and laughing at the bickering between the two of them. That first journey aboard the Discourteous Rose. But wait, before that, the first time you all played together and danced together, sang together. Your life since you left the Shadowfell has been a roller coaster of emotions, of trauma, an ever-present feeling of imposter syndrome and regret and grief, and feeling the responsibility of the grief of others, the pain of others, the suffering of others. And all these moments keep flooding back to you, and you realize that these little mundane moments made you forget. Made you forget that all those problems were even a thing. You were accepted, you were given reason to belong. I'd go as far as to say that you were given a home. And though the world has changed and it's been plunged into shadow and darkness, and though some of those loved ones are not present by one mean or another, you're still here. You got this far. And it wasn't your strength in battle, it wasn't your determination to defy your father and his machinations. You got this far because you're a wild one. And you think back to just a short time ago. An hour ago, however long it was, and you began to spiral. You remember the words of Connell McGinnisy. We've come this far. We've been through so much, we're still here. And if you'll allow one final flavoring, I think the phrase that brings you back into this moment with a new sense of resolve. Fuck the threads of destiny. Your life, whatever path is meant for you. The one thing you've learned in your time in Rhódania is that it's your choice. And your choices have got you this far. The question is, where will you choose to go next?
That's a way to put it.
What does Aegis see now as you collect yourself after this conversation?
She'll probably kept her old hair tie even after she cut her hair. It's like a little leather strap, and she will pull her hair up and tie it in a basic ponytail. And it's kind of like a metaphor because now she can see clearly with all of that out of the way. Would you mind if I hugged you, Aegis?
Of course, that's...
And she does. She sweeps him into a hug.
She gets a little bit of a glow in the face.
And I think it's a little early. Oh, go ahead.
He just has one more thing to say. If you ever feel like you're struggling again, or even if you just want to, you can always hold the hand.
Well,
my sister didn't like physical contact. Kind of makes her skin itch, but she'd always hold my hand, so it's something I know that I can offer.
Thank you.
Anytime.
And though it's a little bit early, I think that is a perfect moment to conclude things for tonight. Oh boy, that was quite the something. A massive thank you for everyone who's tuned in for tonight, and an extra special thank you to my wonderful players. I am, as a DM, incredibly spoiled by the incredible roleplay that I get at my table here on Quest Junkies every week. You guys are the absolute fucking pinnacle of why I do this. So thank you. Every week is a gift, and you keep giving it to me, and I'm very, very humble. That's why they call me the Ever Humble Dungeon Master, I suppose. So big love to y'all. So enough of that soppy shit. Let's wrap things up for tonight. So, before we finish up and go a raiding, let's go around this table once more, my dear friends. Please reintroduce yourself, plug anything you have to plug, and give us your favorite moment from the session, if at all possible. Starting at the very tippity top with a Mr. Timey.
Hi, I'm Artie the Halfling. I have been Mr. Timey, the Order Cleric with the Clockwork Soul. Not much going on for me at the minute, but you can sometimes catch me in the background of my partner Foxspotted streams. She does art and shit, so go check her out. As for favourite moment, I'm getting quite jealous now because it seems that Aegis just opens up everybody. Like, she's the real nutcracker of the session, I think. Just tons of good RP and lore drops just stem from him, and I'm like, you know, when's Mr. Timey's turn? I think Mr. Timey needs a one-on-one with Aegis sometime soon. But yeah, just favourite moment was that last conversation. It was bit of a tearjerker, really, for more than one party, I think.
I think it was indeed. Thank you very, very much. Speaking of, Aegis.
Hi, I'm Aelin. I've been playing Aegis, the bisexual biblical twink. And since we're talking about pride things soon, you can find me here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and every other Friday on Phoenix Iwaki for Chisenta's Tyranny. I mean, it's really I was just I got spoiled with 2 conversations, one with my deity, and then like connecting as like a grief counselor as to some degree like part of Aegis's purpose. So he's just like over the moon right now.
That's one way to put it. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, by any measure at all, Frike.
Hi, I've been an emotional train wreck. I mean, I've been frigid. Or frigid. Being Frike, I had a long death monk clock, and yeah. You know, pulling from places that feel real, it's catharsis, it is, yeah. I think just before I'd say anything else, that was just, yeah, it was, I seem to experience a tremendous amount of catharsis at this table, and for that I'm incredibly grateful. And, so that was my favorite moment. And when I'm not here every Monday night for the Rhódania Chronicles, you can find me every other Friday over on QuestJunkiesUK for Candlekeep Mysteries, and also this Friday for Phoenix's anniversary event that's taking place. I'm gonna be at a table with Maddie. It's gonna be so much fun. And speaking of being at a table with Maddie, the next episode of Cybervamp 2134 is releasing this Thursday, and the story continues. The adventures are very much had. And golly, at the end of the month, after Cybervamp is finished, we'll be having a live reunion special for our week of Pride streams, and very fun. I've given a mild spoiler to one of the players already, and I'm assured that I have been very sneaky and very crafty in how I'm planning this thing. And when I'm not online on stream, you can find me behind the scenes, recapping, lore keeping, fanfic, and all that good stuff, and that's me.
And also, every other Sunday for Descent into Avernus.
Yes, Avernus. Sorry.
That's fine. I got you, boo. Thank you so much. And I am Patch, the ever-humble Dungeon Master. I played everybody else. Most notably the spirit of Brim Smallboy, Colin McGinnisy, briefly. And the form of God of Death. Who, fun fact for you at home, I try to vocally base on Ricardo Montalban. So that's what I'm aiming for. I know I'm not getting it yet, but I'm working on it, okay? Just give me time. I will get into where you can find me in promo things, because there's quite a lot at the moment. But my favourite moment of the session, it's difficult to narrow down one specifically, but, you know, there's been, I think a good example of something that happened tonight is one of my favourite things about, like, this group specifically. But again, I'm very blessed in QuestJunkies to have wonderful tables. There are times in our sessions where I can just sit back for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I can be one of the audience. because I just get to watch wonderful, incredibly creative role players doing their thing. And I fucking love that. So it's incredibly inspiring every single time, and it drives me to try and be a better role player as well. So each session with you guys is a lesson for me, and I love it. So keep it coming. Okay, so let me try and quickly get through all of this. So, Quest Junkies, we stream every Monday, Wednesday, every alternate Sunday at the moment. We also, at the moment, are streaming our Cybervamp 2134 series on Wednesdays. We just got a couple of episodes left before the live reunion as well, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. I am currently appearing alongside Aelin every other Friday on Phoenix Iwaki in the Chisentis Tourney campaign. I am also currently appearing on Winter's Tales as part of the Castleton event, which is you'll have seen it on TikTok and on Instagram and stuff. You know, it's AJ Winters DMing for like 100, 150 content creators. D&D meets Bridgerton meets Hunger Games. It is an incredibly insane project. AJ is working tremendously hard on it, and I've done one session so far, awaiting my next one. It is incredibly fun. You should absolutely check it out. There are some incredible content creators that are part of it as well, which are like way bigger deal than me. So that's awesome. Go check that out. That's on every Sunday, I believe. So that's awesome. But that's not all. If I can divert your attention to the screen, I'm going to show you this. This is our plan for Pride Month. We are doing 8 days of streams raising money for the Trevor Project, which many people know of the Trevor Project. They do incredible work across the world. And this is a breakdown of our plan. So, we'll be kicking things off with a sequel to last year's Pride one-shot, Vicky Mockery's Slaycation. I'm going to be getting a group of amazing peeps together for a drag one-shot with a twist this time, though. It's not going to be D&D, it's going to be a reskin that I've made of kids on bikes. So that's going to be really exciting. And then the day after, the moment many people have been waiting for, the return of Myra the Pirate to Quest Junkies. But not just as like Rhódania or Jimothy the Brassfangs, it is GMing Feronia's familiar fuck-up. Mai has been working so fucking hard on this. She has essentially made her own TTRPG for this one-shot. It's like an amalgamation of different ones, but she's homebrewed that much of it that it might as well be her own thing. And you never know, it could be. Watch this space. But you will see myself and the rest of the Wyld Ones here playing as a bunch of fucking animals as we go and do some heisty shit. I'm very excited for you to all meet my capybara. That's all I'm going to say about that. We have some chaos planned for that. But that's not all, because following that, on the Tuesday, our wonderful Manny is going to be GMing the AV Club, which is our upcoming Kids on Bike miniseries. But before it comes out, we're going to do a live prequel, just to introduce you to the characters, so you can get a little sneak peek of what is to come. AV Club was so incredibly fun to record. I know certain people in this call will agree with me, as they were there. And I can't wait for the world to see it. Maddie did an amazing job, and y'all are gonna love those adorable nerds when you meet them. Then continuing on the Wednesday, we welcome back the wonderful GM Scarlet Song to Quest Junkies, as she is going to guide the cast of the Wildmount Chronicles in a game of lesbian werewolf crime fighters, which is as epic as it sounds. I didn't know those three words could go together, but I guess I do now. That's going to be so much fun. Can't wait for that. Then on the Thursday, we have our aforementioned Cybervamp live reunion, which is going to be a direct follow-up to the events of the finale of Cybervamp, which the finale is next week. So we just have 2 more episodes to go and then the live thing. I can't talk about it too much because spoilers, but it is live this time, so anything could happen. Not terrified at all. Then on the Friday, we have a Stradalicious prequel. I am going to be helming a table of some of our femme fatales and some guests as we do a brawl in Brawl. As we join Captain Ileana for one of her previous missions before the events that led her to Barovia. Expect to see some fun characters and a crazy-ass story. It's a Stradalicious prequel. It's going to be either crazy or horny or both. So, you know what to expect. And then to round things up, on the Saturday, we're going to do an earlier stream, but it's going to run right through to our normal stream time. We're gonna get a gang together to do some Hell Priders. It's gonna be Helldivers, but for Pride. So we're all gonna be gay. I don't know. we'll figure that out when we get there. It's gonna be a good old time. We're gonna spread some liberty, as people do, and then finishing off, we'll have, I believe, episode 4 of Descent into Avernus. I'm very excited to see where the group is by then. So, 8 streams, 8 days. We are aiming for $2,500. I know we can do it. We got $1,800 last time. We can do $2,500 this time. There will be donation incentives. There will be things to unlock. Not as many as last time. We probably did a few too many last time, but we will have, I believe, 5 tiers to unlock for rewards, and once we have those decided, we will let you know. It will be in the social medias, it will be in the Discord, and yes. So with all that being said, we're gonna finish up and we're gonna go raid. I believe our friends over at Bards of New York are streaming, so a little birdie told me it was their 3.5-year-long campaign finale, so we gotta go show some love for that. So let's go do that. Until then, all the love to you at home, all the love to my wonderful table. And I guess if there's anything else left to say, I fucking love you guys. Good night.
The feeling's mutual.
Yes.